Hello, my name is Valerie Choi, and this is my educational leader interview presentation. So, a little bit about my interviewee. His name is Roberto Sanchez. He's also my boyfriend. I know, I'm sorry, I had to, there's no other person I can choose for this. His job title is a substitute teacher for the grades K through 12. He works for the organization of Coachella Valley Unified School District. There's like more than 10 schools, I think, in that district, and he kind of just bounces around each one day to day. And the date of this interview was on January 31st, so a couple days ago. So, couple of his roles and his responsibilities. So he does provide instructional support, meaning he follows lesson plans and guides learning activities, as well as maintaining order and enforcing classroom rules. He also supervises the safety and also the communication that takes place throughout the day. So he supervises students. He also takes attendance and leaves notes for the regular teacher when they come back. And his responsibilities: he maintains classroom management and ensures that learning is continuing even in the absence of the teacher. And he also adapts to different grades and learning styles/abilities. Like I said earlier, he does substitute for different grades. So one class he could be subbing for a special education class, and in the other one he could be substituting for like a high school freshman like English class. So it kind of like differentiates day to day. His leadership style, and I included this quote from one of the articles we read. While little is known about how optimism affects decision making and crisis management in the business area, in other settings, it has been found to be one of the core factors that positively influences decision making. And I find that my interviewee's leadership style aligns with what I have learned throughout the readings and also the viewings. And this is important because teachers need to hold a positive and optimistic leadership style because it directly impacts student learning, classroom culture, and overall school effectiveness. So if he's not in a positive and optimistic mindset, it's going to affect on the students. Data-driven decision making. Analyzing assessment data. I found out that the substitute teachers as well, they also are given the task, if needed, to review test scores and quizzes to identify skill gaps. So an example of this is that if the data shows that students are struggling with fractions, the teacher would assign the substitute teacher to focus and reteach on fraction comparison and problem solving. And he's also in charge of monitoring progress over time. This is mostly like the main teachers, like, what's it called? The main teachers, like, activity to do, but he also can see the ongoing formative data that helps teachers adjust objectives as learning progresses. So an example of this is one of his classes teachers noticed that the students are failing to read the average words per minute. So whenever he was absent for a week, the original teacher, my boyfriend had to continue the weekly reading activity the whole week he subbed for in order for the students to increase their words per minute and in order for them not to fall behind in the week that the original teacher is gone. And he also reviews student work, meaning classwork and homework reveal patterns in understanding and misconceptions. An example of this is after noticing frequent errors in essay organization, the teacher designs a lesson plan for the substitute to improve paragraph structure in the students. And I also included this little sticky note. An educational leader in the school environment uses student data to create targeted, effective learning objectives that support student growth. So I feel like the teachers had to have a really good grasp on this in order to see the results in the children and the students. Learning experiences that they provide for others. They review learning goals. The substitute teacher begins by carefully reviewing the teacher's lessons plans and objectives. An example of this is understanding that the goal of the lesson is to practice multiplication strategies. So he reviews that, and then he states the objective, and then he proceeds to teach it. And another learning experience that they provide is that they implement planned activities. Lessons are delivered as intended with clear directions and structure. An example of this is guiding students through a math worksheet and small group practice activities. They also encourage engagement and participation. The substitute uses questioning and positive reinforcement to keep students involved. Um, an example of this is using equity sticks. It's like the little cup where the sticks have different names, and he just chooses one, and it's to encourage engagement throughout all students, including the ones who need extra help when participating. So, like the more shyer students, so they also have an opportunity to participate in the class. They also provide feedback and documentations. Observations are shared with the regular teacher in order to support the oh my god, continuity of learning. An example of this is leaving notes to discuss which students struggle with the activity and needs more help and support. So he can kind of see his viewings and his observations, and then put a note for the teacher in order for whenever they come back to make sure they touch base on that. An assessment and evaluation of learners. They followed plan assessments, meaning the substitute teacher administers assessments left in the lesson plan. So quizzes, worksheets, anything like that. They also provide immediate feedback. They give verbal feedback to support learning whenever like they correct misunderstandings during practice or praising correct strategies. They also document mastery levels. Results and observations are recorded for the regular teacher. Like I said in the previous slide, they put notes on which students struggled and which students didn't struggle and can proceed to the next lesson and stuff like that. So the leader's use of optimism and positive learning. So optimism allows teachers and substitute teachers alike to approach problems with a positive mindset. And in one of the studies that we read, it said that positive psychological traits such as hope, optimism, and resilience relate positively to career adaptability. Sorry, and these traits hold a direct effect on students and their ability to learn. Meaning if teachers and substitute teachers don't portray learning as fun and exciting, students are going to hold a risk to associate school as a chore. It's something that they despise and they don't look forward to. How the leader advocates for others. So on the top, I put a quote: strong leaders motivate their team to achieve the impossible. They share their energy and enthusiasm with their group in order to achieve more than they would have otherwise been able to by themselves. Like Martin said, true educational leaders motivates others through energy and enthusiasm. When a substitute teacher notices a student is falling behind, they advocate them through motivation, and if it is through like an elementary level class, it can be through rewards and positive reinforcement. To educational leaders, being a leader is a state of mind. Teachers embody this by maintaining equity and fairness and rooting for each and every student. In conclusion, what I found most interesting after my interview was how much an educator has to do on a daily basis. Like every single day is very different, and each like lesson plan is going to be different. So they have a lot of regulations, a lot of like rules to follow by. And teachers are the most secondary caregiver in a child's life, so it's super important for them to uphold certain standards when it comes to teaching the future generations. Something that I did not know before this and now realize after this interview is how well students can remember certain things and behaviors. Like I said, like my boyfriend, he teaches multiple like grade levels, and there are some students who remember like him from like months ago. And he's told me that like they kind of like give him props, like you taught me how to do this whenever my other teacher couldn't do it. So stuff like that, like they have such an important role in a student's life. So it is super important for us to uphold these standards when it comes to them. And these are my references. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.